Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Enron Rogers. This is Daniel Sprott. Our group is called Tech Quiz, and we have came up with an idea to allow people to monitor where vans are in St. Vincent and Grenadines. Our application is called SVG PTT, St. Vincent and Grenadines Public Transportation Tracker. The background of the idea. As I was traveling in a public transportation going to Georgetown where I reside, while looking out of a window, I saw people continuously looking left and right in frustration to see where the public transportations are coming from to go to their destinations. That's when the idea came to mind to allow people to build an application to allow people to monitor and to track where public transportations are.
Brief description of the application. The application allows persons to monitor the location of the transportation going to their destination and see which ones are closer to them.
Advantages of application. Persons will be able to get to work faster. Students will be able to get to school earlier. Police will be in contact with the vans in case of emergencies such as accidents and robberies. If someone is feeling stranded, they can know if any transport is working by checking the application. The transmitter comes with an SOS button that can be toggled off and on in the need, just in case of an emergency. Parents of young school children can keep track of the van that they put their child in.
Challenges of the applications. Potential thieves may also use this application to track the vans. Persons wouldn't know if the transportation is full. The signal from the transmitter would be weaker where there is coverage in an area, where there is no coverage in an area.
Target audience for this application. The target audience for this application is the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College, students and personnel. This is because of the mass of students who have to travel in between the Villa and Arnisville campuses to get to class on time. This app will benefit these people because they will know where the vans are in order to get to class in time, basically. However, as the application matures, that target audience will be the general population.
Further information. This application does not need a monitor in an office. However, a central response center in the police department will need to be connected to the public transport transmitter just in case of an emergency. The central response center will then contact the police department in the vicinity of the area of the allotted emergency. The government ministry for the application. The application benefits the Ministry of Transport and Works and the Ministry of National Security.
The benefits towards the government sectors. The ability to track their specific public transport. The government sector will be able to keep tabs on their own vans. The public servant safety. Knowing that the people they serve have a peace of mind when it comes to knowing where their children are. Appreciation from the public. The public and students will appreciate the ease of this because on guessing where the vans will come if there are any vans working, just in case of a strike. Satisfied employees. The transport drivers will be happier with the ministry knowing that they are a lot safer with the SOS button in a case of any emergency.
Solve problems. The application will help to reduce the amount of people who at some point in their life has been stranded, are most likely to be stranded. Persons are allowed to monitor the public transportation to know which time to leave their locations. The application will help to reduce the late workers and students by allowing them to study the public transport route and the time to make effort to set their schedule to adapt the transport. The application will help to reduce the amount of unknown robberies by allowing the drivers or conductors to contact the police through the built-in SOS button on the tracker in case of any robberies.
Factors for implementation. The finance. The estimated cost is about $30,000. Computers and a server will be needed. This will cost about $7,000. The transmitter in total is $17,000, and human resources. The total salary for this is $6,000. Features of the application. Independency. Once application is implemented, it should be able to run on its own. Human contact will only be needed for upgrades and if there is a glitch. The emergency SOS button. The SOS button is there in case of any emergency. Each public transport will have a specific identification. Each transport will have their specific name so that people who will want to catch a specific transport can monitor the transport.
Research done. We gather information by the means of questionnaires and interviews. A roughly of 20 questionnaires were printed and handed out to the van drivers on the windward, leeward, and central side of the island. Only 4 or 20% said that they wouldn't want to be a part of the application, but all of them have stated that they were stranded at a point in time before they went into the public transportation service. 6 of the drivers said that they have been robbed before and have wished to contact the police secretly without the robbers knowing.
In an interview with the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Transport and Works, Mr. Hudson Ned, he was asked if he thinks that the application was feasible, and he said, and I quote, "Yes, it is feasible because it is a good idea," end quote. He also said, and I quote, "From the ministry's point of view, it is a great project because of the complaints by parents and students. It will be good for students to know where buses are on the road so that they won't hitchhike," end quote. In an interview with Inspector Nanton from the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, he was asked a number of questions which he answered to. He was asked, how would people contact the police in case of a public transportation robbery? In which he said, people may choose to contact the telecommunications department of the police force by dialing 999-457-311 or their landline 456-2906.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. This tracker has to be installed in the van.
Yes.
Okay. And at whose cost?
At the driver's cost name.
Out of one of
The owners. So it's not coming from the ministry's point of view.
No, it depends on if the driver wants to get it installed.
And how much is the cost to this tracker? I'm not sure if you have the cost there.
Oh, the cost for one tracker is $34 US.
Is it for years?
Yeah.
What is the technology used in the truck? The transmitters you said, but what technology are you use to transmit?
The GSM signal from either a line or Digicel's GSM network.
All right. I should just probably comment that I know of 2 entities that are working similar, so if you're planning to do it, let's do it. I was a little confused with the target market. Please clarify.
Target market, the students and the personnel for the St. Vincent and Grenadines Community College. This helps them to chart the van.
Let me interrupt you. I remember that statement. It doesn't clarify my confusion because you mentioned parents, you mentioned,
People in general.
right, so that's what I'm asking, you
well-
determine who your target market is.
Well, the starting target map audience is the seniors and graduates going to college. As it started, as the application mature, the target audience will mature as well.
So, just let me to understand, right? The van drivers or the owners of the vans have to agree to participate in this tracking. So if they don't, then that van will not be tracked. There's not going to be a lot, in other words, where if you want to operate a minivan, you must have this device with you.
Well, it could be a safer road for them and get a sense of safety while they're going on the road. So it probably might give them a good thought that this is something that we should get, so we should have.
Did you, sorry, question, did you survey students of community college
No.
to find out how they feel about the system?
No, we are only so very common drivers.
No, are you just monitoring target in terms of this government-owned vehicle, government school buses, or buses in general?
Well, if the government wants to take part, then their own vehicles will be
So the
tracked.
school buses?
The school buses.
Is it for the government school
Well,
buses?
for the government.
Proposed? How are you gonna start it?
Which vans he's asking?
Oh, which vans? We want to
Is it
start
private vans or government vans?
government vans,
So everything is for the government, for that, those are the school buses?
as in starting with the
The
government.
school
Oh,
buses?
okay, well, that's clear.
Alright.
So you can make it mandatory.
Yeah.
Sorry, that raises a question for me. So you surveyed the drivers of the school buses? Who we surveyed? Who did he survey?
We survey the drivers of the public, no, the private, it was a private.
Private sector.
Private sector.
But this should be a government initiative.
But once the government is, the government is already included, so they can advise their drivers to do it,
If they want to.
because it is the government's funds.
Okay.
Thank you, Tech West.
Yeah.